the end of the day, Pokemon is just a highly customizable RPG where you are building a team that has a diverse set of pros, cons, and that is appealing that you have that much control.
Hey, Thatch here, and welcome to the puclpodcast. This week, we talk about how we might introduce people to Pokemon. We thought about this a lot after last week's episode about Pokemon Champions and how that's introducing more people to competitive Pokemon. But how would you introduce somebody to Pokemon in general nowadays, even if it wasn't something as easy entry as Pokemon Champions to competitive? So we had that discussion. It's a lot of fun. Some interesting insights come out, and I hope you guys think it's nearly as awesome as I did. And as always, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you let us know by liking, subscribing, commenting, whatever you can do, just to show everybody that you like the show. We really, really appreciate it. And it goes a long way, and it's the best way to support us. Finally, we're going to be doing a merch drop from April 29th to May 19th on a Puckle store. That link should be in the description. If not, it'll be on our social media and our Discord where you can check it out. And yeah, we're going to launch it live on stream on April 29th, and you can start picking up all of this awesome merch that we've been making. Flying type Whimsicott, Green Tauros merch. We've got like a really cool Puckle Sports logo that you can grab as well. So go ahead, check it out, and we hope you like it. But with that, guys, I have nothing else to say, and it's time to Puckle up for another episode of the Puckle Podcast.
And now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, Puckle Podcast.
It's Puckle! Puckle! It's Puckle! Puckle! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! Puckle! Puckle.
Welcome to another episode of the Poké Podcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, and today I'm joined by two wonderful co-hosts. We've got the one and only Fluffiest Whimsicott.
Ciao, everyone.
And we've got the knowledgeable, as always, Lynian.
Hello.
And he's on camera as well this week. We got, I wonder, we've had some like good numbers on YouTube since we started having people on camera. And I think it's because everybody knows that I'm a hideous person and they don't care. And so they come to see everybody else. But yeah, welcome to the Puckle Podcast. Puckle, of course, stands for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything from the video game to the trading card game to everything in between. There's a lot of fun goodness there, I think. But yeah, welcome to the show. So far in Pokemon this week, I've played Pokemon Champions a lot, and that's about it. That's about it. I have played a lot of Pokemon Champions. It's really weird, like getting back on the horse after like not doing it. Like this is the most like competitive Pokemon I think I've played since Sword and Shield came out. Like,
wow.
I don't think I've played. I've played it on stream before because it's good content, and I mean like the muscles are there. Right, like the muscles exist from all of the years of like battles and stuff that I used to do, and it's very, very weird. Like going back and I don't know, like I thought I was just gonna be like complete trash, and because I haven't played in 8 years or whatever, and and the thing is like people will just send me like, oh, Dad, you should try out my team, and I get like a replica team, and I'm just like, no, this is wrong. Like this is just so wrong. Like let me fix everything about this for you, please. Because somebody sent me a team once and I looked at it. I'm not going to name names because he'll get mad, but they sent me a team and it had like it had a Swords Dance Rampardos with Choice Scarf, and I was like, I don't understand how this works. I don't understand. What were you thinking here? To be fair, that team also had other problems. It had like 6 only physical attackers and like a bunch of other problems.
Sweeper Kid 2.0.
It was kind of a Sweeper Kid situation, not gonna lie. Yeah, I was just like, oh man, I really, really, really want to make this work, and we worked on it. It was pretty good. We were playing on stream this week. I mostly played battle spot singles. Like, this is I get one little rant today. And by that probably more than one, but my one little rant today is I'm really upset with the way Pokemon Champions has handled the champion tier. And the ranking.
Have
on
you
the
reached
ranked.
that, by the way? I haven't seen a stream in a bit.
I haven't reached champion, and I'll explain why, and I probably never will, because of the way they handled it. So the way they handled champion rank is there's Master Ball, and they have ranks in Master Ball, and they just opened them up this week. They waited 1 week since the meta started to like let you rank up after that. But what ends up happening is Master Ball becomes an ELO ladder. And it's certain ELOs. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's like chess. Like you get some number based on your wins.
Ranking based on the ranking of your opponent.
Exactly.
Game.
Yeah. So at certain ELOs you move up. I'm in like Master Ball tier 3 or something like that. Because I have like a 1770 or 1780 right now. And then once you get to 18, you go to rank 2. And then once you hit 1900, you hit rank 1. And then only the top 300 people in the world get to be champion rank. Yeah, I don't like it. It's like when I saw that, I was like, wow, how did you kill all of my motivation at once? I said this. Yeah, isn't that awful? Isn't that awful? I don't know. It just like killed my motivation to try to do it. If it were something like the top 2,000 or even like 2,500, I think I would be more inclined to try it. Just because I said this on Discord, and I still believe it's true. I said, I follow 300 people on Twitter who I think are better at VGC than I am. Like, so I'm probably not going to make it the champion rank, you know? Like,
It's like, at least make it like the population of an average VGC event.
Yeah, right. Yeah, even if I don't understand 300, I could understand even like 500, you know, like, oh man, we made a nice round number, but they're just like 300, you know?
No, 300 doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. I assume this will be one of those things that gets fixed over time. They'll like tune it and learn how to make it good. But yeah, I mean, I've streamed it. Yeah, and it's fun. I mean, I like playing it. I got into singles, and like Greel from our Discord server showed up, Greel's Mercenary. He's like one of like the best battle spot singles BSS players in the world. It turns out he's like on the council at Smogon for it, so he does the viability rankings and everything.
Wow.
So he unintentionally coached me by just handing me his team, and I'm just like, because I was playing with that other team that was like all physical attackers. So I was like, Greel, can you give me something that's actually good? So I can learn the meta.
It just the Hulk taco, you know?
Yeah. Here you go. Just take it. Yeah, here's the Hulk taco. And I did ask him, and hopefully he remembers, but I did ask him to try to make like a Mega for Alligator team that wasn't complete trash.
That's gonna be tricky given it's Mega for Alligator.
Well, Mega for Alligator is like not that bad, but it's fine. Like there are definitely better megas. There are worse megas too. Like I don't know. There's some that I just would not play with. I feel like it could be better in singles though than it would be in doubles. I have seen like some doubles teams, but I don't know. I don't want to fall for like the YouTuber bait of like, I made this team with this mega Pokemon, and then some really professional VGC player that can take any team and probably outplay most people. It's just like, look how successful it is. And then I'm going to look at it and I'm gonna be like, I have to make very specific moves. And I don't have the bandwidth to practice like I used to. But yeah, that's been my week is playing around that. I've really enjoyed it though. Just kind of getting back on the horse, and it's a good beta test and to break you in with the very, very limited meta. The way it is. So I do recommend it if you've never tried it before and you've ever been interested, like go try it out. But it's a good time in that regard. It also made, I don't know, maybe it's also just age, but I've realized that I do kind of like doubles a little bit better than singles as well, especially BSS singles, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But even like I went in and played some singles battles and they were just like all stall. And I was just like,
well, the meta.
I was just like,
of Pokemon does skew that way for singles right now.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, no, not again. How do you do stall in 3v3? People figured it out, guys. Like,
well, you only have to stall against 3 things.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, this is wild. I mean, it is just like it does feel like a very condensed version of 6v6, as it obviously is. But I just got tired of just the switches and everything. I realize in VGC you at least get, even if there is a switch on somebody's turn, there's still like action happening to like the game plan and like the board state.
Yeah.
Because like there's at least one mon that didn't get switched out that turn. And like, so something's going to happen. And that I always find, I find that to be more like engaging, I guess. At least at this point. I mean, if 6v6 count comes, which I think there's still a good chance it does, based on a number of things that like I found poking around the game a little bit. I think there's a good chance it comes still, but if it does come, maybe I'll get back into it. But I don't know, like VGC, maybe I'll be Wolf Glick one day, you know. That will be Wolf Glick, yeah. Except I will keep my day job. I'll keep my day job because I can't leave
letting
it.
you know, then you will not.
I will not. You are correct. You are correct. But what about
a friend of
you
mine
guys?
was talking about champions. He's like, "Yeah, Wolf Glick made champion." I'm like, "I bet he did."
Yeah, he did. Yep.
He didn't
and
only
does this for a living. I'm sure he got there.
he actually made rank number 1 in the world, and again, no surprise.
Yeah. He did get 67th, and he tried to post it as a meme, and I'm sure that resonated with the youth. I'm sure that resonated with somebody who was not Thatch.
Yeah.
I have some younger students at work, and I asked them one day what's up with 6-7, and I said what I asked them like, what is this? Why do you guys keep saying this? What is going on? And they came back to me. Well, then they started explaining it to me, and the explanation takes way too long. Which is why I go, okay, so this isn't actually that funny. It's just something stupid you're all saying, like skibbity toilet or whatever it is. Like, so now I don't care. I don't need the context to just say 6-7 randomly now.
Yeah.
But you guys don't play anything recently? Fun?
Yeah.
I know Whimsicott hasn't played Champions yet, which is fine. I don't think you need to.
Actually, let me take you on a little adventure.
Okay.
So what happened was that I woke up on the morning after Champions was released. I checked the Discord server and I saw, as I expected,
no
that
6v6,
Champions doesn't have 6v6. And for some reason on that particular day, it just killed my mood for Pokemon. Just completely. And I was like, well, I was so hyped. And now I don't have what I wanted because I am a tiny little child. And if it's not exactly what I wanted, I will not want it at all. I am not 43 years old.
I get it.
So I was like bummed about it for a while. And then, yes, but I still wanted to play Pokemon, but I couldn't find a game that I wanted to play. I tried picking ZA back up, and then I remembered within the space of 5 minutes why I had put it down. I was extremely bored with the get berry, go get more berries cycle.
The infinite berry loop.
The infinite berry loop. I don't even have all of the Megastones yet. I don't have the one I want the most. I don't have Mega Chain Echo, but I'm just too bored with the game to go get it. Okay?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But yesterday I finally had time to listen to the latest episode.
Oh.
And you guys got my hype back up. Especially
Jushiro fixed it for me. So,
yeah, exactly. Jushiro, thank you, Jushiro. Jushiro said, okay, this is like essentially it's TCG Pocket, but for VGC. And I'm like, I like TCG Pocket.
It is kind of the idea. I mean, it just replaces VGC, which is the only caveat, right? Like that's that's why it's got so many more eyes on it. And
but I never liked VGC. I never played VGC the same way that I never played the TCG essentially, but I like Pocket. So I was like, okay. I'm sure that plenty of teams have Whimsicott on it because Whimsicott does Whimsicott things in VGC. Yeah. So I just found some team pastes that had Whimsicott and other Pokemon I like in them. And I was like, okay, I like these teams right here. Problem, most of them have a Sneasler. I did not have a Sneasler because if you remember, my save file for Legends Arceus was tragically lost a while back, along with all of my other save files. And Legends Arceus, I had started it back up, didn't finish it. So I spent all of yesterday evening and late afternoon playing Arceus until I could catch a Sneasler. Yeah, I could have just come into the Discord server and said, hey, does anyone have a Hisuian Sneasel? But then I thought, if I don't do it this way, I will never finish Arceus again. So I played Arceus for so many hours. And now I have actually downloaded Champions like an hour before we met to record this episode. I got through the tutorials, and I will probably try some VGC ranked battles with a team that is really, really bad, probably. Like, the Mega is Glimora.
No,
really bad.
It could be fine. Glimora can be fine, actually. I think one of the top tier Megas is been Scovillain.
Yeah, Scovillain is broken. Yeah. It's broken. Yeah,
Scovillain.
That is what Wolf used to reach rank 1 in the world.
Yeah, it turns out that this is one of my biggest problems with the VGC community versus the TCG community, having been in both. The VGC community is way more secretive about their good stuff. The number of times you'll just see somebody post a team comp with Pokemon in it and not tell you the stats, very, very high. That happens most of the time. That'd be like somebody saying these are the 2 Pokemon I used in my TCG deck. You have to figure out the other 58 cards. You know, they don't do that in the TCG. More often than not, you'll be able to find a full deck list. They definitely do testing by themselves before tournaments, and so they have their own deck list that they craft there, but that's about it.
So what is it doing? Because I know what its ability does, but...
that's a great question. Yeah, Mega, I don't know the answer because I only heard about this recently, that it's doing really well at top tiers. Yeah,
I think Wolf found a way to make it one-hit KO Incineroar or some stupid crap like that.
What? Okay, you know what? Sure.
No. He's done this before, where he took Gouging Fire and figured out a spread with Gouging Fire that can OHKO Incineroar.
That was it. That was Gouging Fire. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Gouging
Fire. I'm looking at this thing's move, and the only thing it could even attempt that with is Stomping Tantrum.
Yeah.
That's definitely keyword attempt.
Yeah. I haven't looked into it enough to be able to tell you the answer to this yet.
Okay.
But
sure,
I will look at it at some point, hopefully soon, and be able to tell you.
I mean, a lot of it is probably it was Wolf piloting it, but
yeah. Well, I think especially in the the laddering format, right? Because that's a best of 1, not a best of 3 format. So there's a lot you can just win with in Champions right now because so many things just aren't known, or nobody knows how they operate.
People don't know how to play around it.
Yeah, you don't know what it does, right?
Again, as I saw a video by Wolf today because I saw him use Mega Glimora, and I was like, oh, I need to see this because this is gonna be dumb and fun. And he called out the fact that in 1v1, even the Pokemon you leave on the bench, they prevent your opponent from bringing certain Pokemon. And if you have built your team around this mechanic as well as the actual in-game mechanics, you can manipulate what they are going to bring, and you can almost guarantee a win in 1v1 because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's
more so than in a 3v3.
So the 1v1 you get that advantage. But yeah.
Not the correct
we did get a
word,
Pokemon Champion segment in the show today then. To everybody's joy, maybe.
Yay.
I don't know. It's not the topic today, but it's certainly a place to stay. Do you have anything that you wanted to talk about, Lynian, before we move on?
not really been feeling the competitive bug right now.
Absolutely not. I didn't expect
I've never
everybody.
been a big multiplayer focus person, just
Mm-hmm.
not my speed. So I have just been continuing to try to get every Pokemon in Pokopia.
That's fun though. I
It
know
is.
I'm all for that. The problem and like Jushiro and I both felt this. I mean, it excites at least me and Jushiro, but he and I are a kindred spirit in terms of being like older Pokemon fans. We were just like we're so hyped, like everything's coming out like now. Like there's so many things. We had Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green, we had Pokopia, now we have Champions. And I think there's something else that came out within that time frame as well. But we were just like there's so much happening. It's so much fun. There's just Pokemon around every corner, you know? and so there's so many things to do right now, and Pokopia is certainly one of them. I think that's a lot of fun.
Nah, I've done every zone to rank 10. The thing that's driving me nuts right now is weather-based spawns suck. I've had the berry habitat together for like a week, and I still haven't gotten Goodra. And it's like,
oh no.
I find
like
it's
rain?
raining in a zone. I just run back to the other area, pack up the habitat, move it over, throw a camera down.
Show me
it's like that and
Goodra.
Fossils just suck.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely, I played it and I intend to go back at some point. I just haven't had the time. I actually ended up playing Legends Z8 to do the same thing Whimsicott was doing because I wanted Mega Floette, and I hadn't done that yet. So I had to sit around and play Pokemon Legends ZA for a little while. And then I got stuck. I did do the berry loop.
I did 100% that game's dex. The last thing I got was Frigibax.
I believe that. It's so hard.
It's ridiculous. Why would they make it like that? Anyway.
I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. No, it's
the
not,
worst Megastone, though, is Lucario Z, and it's not close. That sucked. That just sucked.
Yeah, it was a what? I don't know. The game's so weird, especially that it's mostly the DLC that's weird. Like the base game
I even
was
liked
okay.
the DLC overall, but there were a couple decisions that just baffle me. Like beat Mega Lucario Z with your own Lucario. Also, it's level 100, so you can't scale past it. It hits faster than you can, and it will one-shot you because you're weak to fighting.
Yeah.
I had to. I don't even remember how. I think I had to use a Focus Sash and then Drain Punch, Mach Punch, just to try to get through it. And I had to EV train. It was obscene.
The game is
need to do that to get Lucario. It's not fun.
It's not a good time. I hate it. I don't.
All right, now you've got Lucario Z. What's left? Literally nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. Well, yeah. All right. Well, this has been fun. We're gonna go. There's a little bit of news to talk about, so we're gonna go kick it on over to the news. So we'll catch you over there. Welcome to the news. In the news, we've got a few things to talk about. First and foremost, they talked about the Pokemon Day Out and the Pokemon Night Out events that they announced on Pokemon Day for Pokemon 30. I am less than as excited for them as I was before. It is like it is a concert. I don't know. I don't think it's even a series because I think it happens like maybe once or twice. For Pokemon Night Out, they're gonna have Marshmallow and Alice in Wonderland. My bad. And they're gonna have a couple other things like light shows and whatever. So it's an EDM concert. It's an EDM concert. There are two dates for them. One is in Los Angeles on October 24th, 2026. And the second will be at the O2 Arena in London on November 10th, 2026. Tickets for both shows have gone on sale by the time you're listening to this episode. I don't know if they're sold out or not. I haven't checked into it.
They are.
Oh, then, yeah. Okay, never mind then.
Well, okay, I don't know. I don't even know.
Scalpers probably got them.
But now they are. It's Pokemon and concert tickets.
Yeah.
They're sold out.
Yeah,
Fair
I'm kind of
enough.
bummed that I remember for the 20th anniversary, we at least got like the Pokemon Orchestra thing.
I went to that. That was cool.
Yeah. And like it went to way more places and it was really cool. I thought they might just like do that again. But I guess
I
not.
imagine there's got to be more than just this, but
I can only hope. I'm hoping it's like a series of events. It's like night out includes things like the EDM concert, and day out includes things because there is a Pokemon day out as well that are held when there's one going to be in France, one in the US, one in Germany, and one in Mexico. I believe one's in like Mexico City.
But I don't think we have dates.
No, we don't have dates for those yet, but those are in fact coming as well. There's going to be some like new merch from Pokemon Center for them as well. You can buy it on the online store, so you're fine. You don't have to like actually go to Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
And Night Out also going to have some themed items as well. But yeah, you can also get some cool wallpapers, I guess. Is it 2010? I'm just so confused. Okay. But you can go get those tickets maybe. We'll see. But yeah, moving on. Target is also doing a Pokemon crossover with items. And when I initially heard about this, I thought, oh man, this is going to be bad. It's not going to be good. Surprisingly, it turns out if you do 74 items, at least 20 of them have to be good. So there's some decent stuff in there. So one of my favorite things is they have Pokeball kickballs, like the old playground kickballs. They have one for the Pokeball, a Great Ball, a Ultra Ball, and a Master Ball. I have to go get those. I need to. There's a Totodile water bottle. I'm probably gonna buy that. They have some like really cool windbreakers as well. I don't know. There's some really neat stuff. They've got a cool keyboard that I doubt is good at anything else other than being like a keyboard for a child. But it does exist. You can also purchase that.
I hate to give it to it's a Pokemon. It's not a Totodile water bottle. It is a water type mystery bottle.
Oh, my apologies. Oh, so I could get a Totodile, is what I'm told.
You could get a Totodile. You could also get a Gyarados, a Magikarp, a Squirtle, a Slowpoke, or a Psyduck.
They're gonna make me blind box.
Yes,
they're gonna make me blind box a water bottle.
I was about to say that it's good, good on them for like going with a company that's cheap enough where these are like achievable for people. And then they did that. I'm retracting that. No.
Now I'm sad. Now I'm sad.
There's why?
I'm gonna spend $60 on water bottles. That's what I'm.
Jigglypuff perfume.
Some of the stuff is pretty cool though. I like some of the T-shirts they have with the Pokemon on the back, and I don't know, it's pretty neat. I'm a fan. I'll probably pick some of this up actually. I don't know why I need Jigglypuff like perfume. What do you think a Jigglypuff smells like?
Eraser ink.
I was like, it's gonna be like
marker ink,
an Expo marker or something.
Expo marker and like
probably actually that and marshmallow.
That's
Probably like marker ink and marshmallows. Yeah.
Oh, they do just have keycaps with the Pokeballs on them though. That is kind of neat. Okay, man, why am I being sold on this so hard? Oh man, like. I imagine they'd be like, oh, that's a cute little thing. Maybe I'll pick that up, But there's more than I would like to admit. That I'd like to get. There's some cute things here. They have a crossbody bag. Oh no.
Why is that your oh no?
I want that. I use it for international travel a lot. But yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Wait, were those Pokemon Pop-Tarts? Are Pokemon Pop-Tarts coming back? Oh man.
Dude, someone saved that from the
Pokemon Pop-Tarts are coming back. I did see this.
This is great.
Wow. No.
This is great. Thatch is getting Pokemon Pop-Tarts. Wow.
I can't even mention Pokemon Pop-Tarts when I go to visit my family. My sister is a big like when I say she's a health person, I mean like she consults with companies. That is her job.
Yeah.
And apparently she's heard, and it's probably true, that Pop-Tarts are the most nutrient-poor food that is available in the average grocery store.
Yeah.
And you cannot mention the words Pop-Tart without triggering a rant on this.
Yeah.
And it has fundamentally altered my appeal of them, because the entire time I imagine my sister
just getting mad at you for eating these Pop-Tarts. This is gonna be like a stream event. We're gonna have to get the Pokemon Pop-Tarts.
Are you gonna set up a toaster cam?
Oh man, we could. We have the ability. We could do this.
We have the technology.
Oh, actually, okay. So the surprising part of the equation that I am missing in my house right now is the toaster. I do not have a toaster in my house.
So can you get a Pokemon toaster?
Oh, if they sold me a Pokemon toaster, I would absolutely buy it. Just for this joke.
I bet there are at least 3 in Japan.
This is the cheapest joke, is to just buy a toaster and do it. There has to be a Pokemon toaster, right? Like, that has to exist. I mean, a Pokemon toaster.
There exists what is this? Uncanny Brands. It's a full Pokeball toaster that will toast Pokeballs into whatever you put it in.
I'm here.
Wow.
That's a JCPenney.
It is $80 on Amazon.
That's $62 over at JCPenney. I'm here. Okay, guys, you heard it here. You know, we gotta identify this toaster. This toaster, we gotta find it.
The other side is a Pikachu.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm here for this. The only reason we haven't bought anything is because we're moving, so I didn't want to buy things before we moved, but I guess we're gonna have to. Like, it's just the way things are.
Apologize to
my wife.
Publicly.
She'll accept that apology, and then I will still do it. I will still do it. They haven't given me a move-in date yet, so like I don't know when I'm moving in. We can't put this on indefinite pause. This is a priority. Unfortunately, I never returned the Pokemon cereal, but moving on, they have put in they've released the new poster in Japan for the next season of the anime, which is weird and different because I think it's filler-ish because Winds and Waves is taking a little bit longer than they had originally planned, probably. But we're getting all the storylines.
They wrapped up the storyline. I don't think this is filler. I think this was probably planned for. I do think they probably overestimated how much they were going to get out of it and are kicking themselves, but that's a little different. I've
never in my life thought I'd see an anime on Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go Pokestops, Pokemon Sleep either. I do like that they highlighted they Mega Phalanx. That's fun, I guess. And it does look like they're going to do the Ruinous Quartet, Miraidon, Koraidon, and then also Ogerpon stuff. So that's neat. That's something. That's cool. I'll be here for that. And there's a new character with the Ditto, probably for Pokopia as well. There's just too much happening. This is what the month of March felt like for Pokemon. Is this poster? But yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to some video game news, and Lynian, you've got that.
I do. In video game news, Pokemon Masters EX is currently holding a vote for an event in fall of next year. So it isn't likely to end anytime soon. I would be stunned if it was. The revenue on that is still really good.
Yep. Absolutely.
The Johto starters received their release dates for Unite. Typhlosion will be the first one to release in April.
That's this week.
So that's
this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, from when you guys are listening to it, it's like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Other Paldea starters will be coming alongside Liko and Roy outfits, thanks to data mines.
Wow. I wonder how popular Liko and Roy are in Japan. I just want to know.
It's not nothing. Because I did independently at non-Pokemon places see multiple small children wearing shirts with them.
Okay. Aww. I mean, it has been long enough now, to be fair. It's been like 4 years, so that checks out.
Yeah, but I don't know. There was also no Ash merch, which I found very... I don't know how to say it other than very Japanese and like the churn through it. Because you'll still see Ash stuff in Walmart, but you will not in Japan. So there's that.
Yeah.
Lastly, video game news. I love how this is worded. Bulbasaur is holding a jump rope competition this week in Pokopia.
He is.
It sounds like the human interest story that you close out the segment.
Yeah.
It is the human interest story, okay?
So you can get his trophy again if you missed it.
Cool. That's fun. That's cute. I just think it's really cute. Pokopia is so fun. Pokopia is too good.
I'm patiently awaiting the next time my Pokemon Center gets completely taken over for 3 weeks.
Oh man, I was bummed by that with the Hoppip. That was a big bummer. But
what's the video game news?
Yeah.
It's okay. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but it's fine.
Oh.
So the obligatory Pokemon Go news segment. One day I will own a Switch too, hopefully. So in Pokemon Go news, the Gigantamax, Kanto starters, and Gengar return on Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. And that's it. In TCG Pocket news. This I actually understand because I play this game. So
I play this game. But actually,
yes.
we're gonna have to show our notes on screen because there's no link associated with it. Okay, continue. Explain.
I will explain. I will try to sum this up. So essentially right now you get emblem coins that you can use to buy emblems. Now, the way you do that is you complete different collections within that set that is associated with the emblem. They are going to do away with this. You keep all the emblems you already have, and then ones you do not have already will be given to you depending on how many cards from that set you have. I think they only count the non-secret rare ones. So the ones that have a number in the main numeration of the set. Mm-hmm. The same thing is going to happen with the covers associated with each set. You can currently buy them for shop tickets. They will do away with that. You do not have to spend shop tickets on them. If you already have, well, that's life. They will be given to you when you are, close to completing that set, essentially.
Yeah.
Not even close. The covers will be given to you when you reach 40 cards in your decks for that specific expansion. And if you are like, I have all of that, why do I not see an option to claim this? A, this is going to happen with the next rotation, so when the next set comes out. And B, you have to obtain cards, e.g. open a booster pack at least once in order to trigger your ability to claim all of these things.
Interesting. I'll give
and
you the badge bonanza if you want to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It is TCG Live this month. Rotation just happened. We have reasonable decks for everyone, and we also have a video going over the starter decks, so you can check that out if you want.
Yep. And then we also have a weekly VGC tournament over on our Discord server at puclpodcast.com, where you can go compete. And if there's at least 4 people, we're going to go ahead and give out a $5 eShop gift card to the winner. And then I'm going to work with Shamu from here on out. I'm also going to have him give away one just to anybody who plays. Like, you don't even have to be good. It's all on Pokemon Champions now, so you can go over, play some VGC, and maybe get $5 eShop credit so you can buy that Battle Pass next month or whatever it is. Whenever the next Battle Pass comes out. Well, yeah. And then the last segment, Wo-Chan's News Corner. News brought to you at a snail's pace and makes everybody feel old because we were around for this. 10 years ago this week, trademarks for Solgaleo and Lunala were discovered. Elaine's Charizard and Ash's Greninja clashed for the first time. And Pokemon announced a bunch of events for the Origins Game Fair for championship points. Oh man, that's wild. Cool. I don't think they were even at Origins last year. But yeah, that is your news here at Puckle. Other than that, I don't think I even have like Puckle news to talk about. So with that, we've got a topic to get to, guys. So we're going to kick it on over to our topic. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is where should people start, I guess. If you were new to Pokemon or somebody else that we knew was new to Pokemon, where should they start? And this kind of came up as an idea because I was thinking about a lot of conversations we had last week. Neither of you were on last week, but we had a conversation between myself and Seth, and we talked about Pokemon Champions a lot, like kind of what we did at the beginning of the show, I guess, this week. But we talked about Pokemon Champions, and Jushiro, being the more casual-minded person, at least now, he used to be heavy into the TCG, but nowadays he's more of a casual person. And he was telling us stories about all of his friends who only play like TCG Pocket or Pokemon Go, jumping into VGC because of Pokemon Champions. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I was like, well, if you were to play like the RPGs, right? Or if like somebody came up to me who had never played a Pokemon game, which is kind of weird to think about people who haven't played Pokemon games at all in like the gaming space. I don't know if that's ever happened. I feel like any gamer you've ever talked to has probably at least played one Pokemon game at some point or another in their life. Just because they've been around so long. Okay.
I mean, depending on their age.
Yes, of course. Yes.
But
I mean, it's been out for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's exactly my point. Like, I am an exception because people my age were maybe old enough to never get into Pokemon. And people a bit older than me, like, some of them have never played Pokemon. And
no, that makes sense.
You know.
That totally makes sense to me. I guess my question, because we're going to get into this, and I want to make sure we define the parameters correctly for people listening. We talked about this a little bit before the topic, but the idea is we're going to be talking about some adult 18 plus person that has never played Pokemon before, but is interested in it. They like RPGs. So we're going to stick with like the mainline RPG series, though I do have one random discussion point to bring up that breaks that rule. But I want to get into it and just kind of see what your thoughts are in terms of where somebody new should start in Pokemon, right? Not that we're trying to make that recommendation for people listening to the show, but I think it kind of highlights a lot of the differences with the games of kind of where to start nowadays versus back in, 1996, where you had like the one option. Well, in 1996, none of us had the option. It was actually 1998 in the US. I like to get mad about that. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to jump into the game now in different ways. Like we've just had the release of Fire Red Leaf Green on the Switch. So if you own a Switch, you can play even an old Gen 3 game. You can go ahead and play anything from Sword and Shield onward on your Switch 2 without a problem now. And I'm sure there's plenty of ways to have access to the other Pokemon titles that I will not discuss on this show very easily. So
you can even start with XD Gale of Darkness. If you
oh my god. But I kind of want to start with that frame of mind. And so I'll just keep having you guys go back and forth with these discussion points. And my ideal state is that I festoon the conversation, which is a very complicated word that I've learned, that I held on to from my theology days. And but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna begin the discussion, and this is probably like a very heavy question, and we'll start with it. But I want to know what your thoughts are on probably like one of the most important things that people need, that you would consider when trying to introduce somebody to the Pokemon franchise. Like, what do you think it would be the most important thing for them to realize about it? And so I don't know who wants to start. I didn't flip a coin like a football game, but I should have maybe. It's a little
I
heavy.
am of two minds about this.
Okay.
One is accessibility. Like, if you already have a certain console, of course, I'm going to recommend you a game that is on the console you already own.
Sure.
But another more generic one is, do you like turn-based RPGs?
So we're assuming the person likes RPGs in general. We'll say they played Octopath Traveler or something. I don't know. Like,
is Octopath a turn-based one?
Yeah, Pokemon's combat. Yeah. But yeah, keep going. What you got? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that was pretty much it. Like, okay. So you like turn-based RPGs. Then I guess, since one of the main attractions of the Pokemon franchise is obviously the Pokemon. So I am probably going to show you a picture of all the starters, and I'm going to tell you, no, I'm not that self-centered, thank you. I'm going to show you a picture of all the starters that you could potentially have available to you in the various games that you have access to. And I'm going to tell you, so one of these is going to be your main guy. Who do you vibe with?
Oh, okay, that's it. Actually, okay, I like that approach, to be fair. I think it's a good one. You know, like pulling it down. That's not too bad. I think I did the same thing with my brother when we were children and he was like just old enough to play video games. Because my brother and I are like very far apart in age. We're like 7 years apart. And I remember, because Pokemon came out when I was like 8, so he was 1, right?
Yeah.
And so like he's not playing video games. Granted, he was really good at Beetle Racing Adventure when he was 2 years old on the Nintendo 64. But he didn't really like you need to read to be able to play Pokemon games, at least to some extent.
Yeah.
And so when he was about 5 or 6 and he could, read the games, that was about the time where it was just about to be Ruby and Sapphire, but it wasn't quite. And we had been talking about it, and like I just showed him all the starters, and like he picked one. I think he chose Cyndaquil at the time. I don't think he would do the same thing now if you showed him all the pictures, but he chose Cyndaquil, and so we kind of did that. So I kind of get that approach. I get that approach. Do you have anything? Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Oh, sorry.
We'll let Lynian go.
Just another factor is how much do they care about graphics?
Oh, that's a good question too, actually. They're not a Nintendo fan specifically, so we have to ask that question.
For me, I think the thing that I think catches Pokemon fans, and it all comes back to the little guys at the end of the day.
The little guys.
Pokemon is not a great exploration game. It's an interesting combat engine, but it's not the hook. You have to enjoy the Pokemon as they are the attractive part of the franchise and the games. You're not going to get someone interested and stay interested if you come at it from a lens of showing them like you're not going to beat them on flash on in aesthetics. You have to sell them on what Pokemon's been doing for 30 years, which is selling people on the fantasy of it and the world as a place to be. If they like RPGs, I think the most important thing I want them to do is have a good experience with their team. So I'm probably going to nudge them towards something that is going to give them opportunity to use a lot of different Pokemon, or at the very least see a bunch, rather than something to pare down.
We'll ask for those specifics later, because I want this to build. We gotta get there. But and so I guess a follow-on for both of you as well. Maybe this is just more personal than asking about this hypothetical person that is probably harder to find than we would think. But is asking what you guys enjoy most, right? Like, what is something that like really keeps you held in and like grabbed? I don't know if that influences your view, or if that is just something a little bit different from your point of view.
I think it definitely influences my view, because the answer is the same I gave for the hypothetical person.
Sure.
I see the little creatures and I'm like, oh, but I love this little guy. I want to play with this little guy again.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's why we have the starters now, right?
It's a combination of that aesthetic. Pokemon are cool as creatures, and I want to get to do that. And really, at the end of the day, Pokemon is just a highly customizable RPG where you are building a team that has a diverse set of pros, cons, and that is appealing that you have that much control. To me, it's a very easy game to be expressive in a very fun and engaging scenario. Like, when you play a Pokemon game, there is a base level of everything you do has the potential to impact your build.
Yeah. Yes.
Every encounter you can add to your team. That's a very, very potent mechanical hook. You go out and you're not just fighting enemies to level up. You're going, hey, I'm going to take that and add it to my team. It's like if it is not a Pokemon is not a roguelike unless you make it into one.
Yeah.
But in a lot of the ways it plays somewhat similarly. Because every single encounter, whether it be a trainer to get levels, to add moves that you're swapping in and out of what you have available, whether it's the opportunity to add a Pokemon to your team, you are constantly presented with options of how you want to tailor this run. And that is a lot more engaging to me than a lot of other RPGs. And it helps that to do that, you collect a horde of small to medium to big cool guys that all have their own design and, I hate to say lore, but their own inspirations, their own mechanical quirks.
Or personality even.
Yeah. I was going to say another comment about something else you said that was really insightful, but another time on an episode. But actually, I think your roguelike comment is more insightful than anything else. It's a Pokemon. Because I'm playing Fire Red and Leaf Green recently. I thought about how we have a lot of limited TMs and how you can't there's one Earthquake TM in Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green. You can only teach one Pokemon Earthquake with a TM. Now you can breed it down based on which Pokemon you do it, and you could probably get it around enough because there are some egg move shenanigans you can play with TMs in Gen 3, but there's one Earthquake. And I think about that and I'm like, man, this is kind of limiting, especially now on the Switch because I can't just hack into it like I could with the Game Shark back in 2004. And I thought about it, but thinking about it as a roguelike is actually really interesting concept. It's a 25-hour roguelike.
This is extremely
it's weird to think about.
Amusing to me. Yeah. This is very amusing to me because it's because what I did with my time when I was disappointed for that week because Champions doesn't have 6v6 is I finally beat Hades for the first time.
One or two?
One.
No.
Okay.
My thumbs hurt very much.
I love it. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2, and that does click a little bit when you. I was doing that, and then went and I've just been slowly working through a different Pokemon game, just a fan game. But I was like, oh wait, no, this is actually not that different if you look at it at a decision tree.
No, that's
I encountered a Chop. Do I want it? Do I want the experience? How does this play into what I'm doing? It's just it
makes sense to me. Yeah. I guess it makes sense as to why it maps so well onto Pokerogue in the community as well. It maps so easily onto that because it is essentially the same thing. I think the only difference is the way you start, right? You can choose a different Pokemon or a different set of Pokemon or something like that. But
and how fast you're supposed to do it. It doesn't have all of the elements, but Pokemon is the most roguelike deck builder of any
roguelike deck builder.
RPG.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I always think back to that video from 2007 on early YouTube with that little Lego video where they just talk about how Pokemon just did it right the first time. It's the master of its craft. Because they haven't really updated the way things work, which has been the major complaint, I think, for the past 30 years, even. That they just haven't updated the way catching works. And they just do a really good job, I think. But, yeah, go ahead,
think it's not even just that they did a really good job, which they did, to be fair. But it's like they created their own genre, so why would they step out of it?
Yeah, exactly. They kind of defined the baseline expectations, I think, for the genre. At a minimum.
Mario guy keeps jumping. When's he gonna get a jetpack?
Yeah, exactly. Why doesn't Mario do more than jump? What he did, he threw his hat on some frogs or something at one time. But,
I mean, what was it, 2 or 3 that he could get the tail and fly?
That was 3. That was Super Mario 3. At least
it also depends on how you count.
It depends on depends on where you live.
Yeah.
It depends on where you live. It depends how you count. Jan Misali has done 2 videos that are over an hour each trying to count the Mario mainline games. You can't win. Don't
especially early. It doesn't work that well. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
Birdo wasn't meant to be a Mario character, okay? Like, but we've got Birdo. But okay, back to what I have. I was going to ask this question, but I think we've kind of answered it. So the next one I had, and this is just a perspective. I was thinking about this more recently, and I could be wrong. I'll contextualize the question, but I've been thinking about this a lot, and this kind of ties into this other question that I should move up a little bit higher. But I think about, modern Pokemon games and how they are. I get to say my comment and compliment Lynian at the same time, I guess, because we've been on the show together for 8 something years now, 8 or 9 years now.
8 years,
yeah. And there was one. I remember when Sword and Shield came out, and we were talking about all the things it was like ripping out, and we were talking about Dexit and stuff like that at the time. And I remember you said something that I think about every single time something gets removed from a Pokemon game now. Because especially at that time you were like very much into game design, not saying that you weren't now too, but yeah. But you said taking away options is always a bad thing. Like taking away player options is kind of a bad thing in terms of changing the way you want to play and stuff like that. Or is typically a bad idea. It could be done craftfully in certain ways. That's why 5th edition succeeded over like 4th edition, which you could, I guess, build almost anything in for Dungeons and Dragons. But
you need 4th over 3rd?
Something like that, yeah.
Third edition, you could do whatever
you could do everything.
4th was very restrictive.
4th was very restrictive. Yes, that's what I meant. And that's probably why people do things one way or the other. And so I guess that's kind of what I thought about with Pokemon games and older Pokemon games. One, the lore wasn't as strict, especially if you look at the Kanto games. The story is you're a kid and you just keep bumping into the Mafia for some reason, and.
It was 90s Japan. It was 90s, right?
That's just how it was. Like you just accidentally walk into the Yakuza den, and
that's how every Saturday morning cartoon said it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, clearly, this must be real.
This is how it works, right?
Quicksand on every corner.
But now you go to something like Scarlet and Violet, which I would say is probably a little bit better than some other modern Pokemon games, letting you kind of choose where you go. But there's definitely one story. Like it's railroad-ish in terms of that story. But not exactly, because you can kind of just bounce around, do whatever you want. But yeah, so I was wondering if you guys had a perspective on like choosing for this person who's never started with Pokemon, something that's more modern, where the stories are more well crafted. I mean, Scarlet and Violet, I think, had a banger story versus something older where like the stories were kind of like almost just headcanon. What did you think happened? And we can let Lynian start because I see the look on his face and he wants to do it.
I don't think I would have them start back any further than Gen 4.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually, but that's for other maybe not story reasons. But
special split, just one thing. But the big thing for me is that everything earlier than that suffers from design issues that most games had at the time. I still, to this day, having run it multiple times, get lost after I get to Lily Cove. I'm like, all right, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, and then how am I supposed to... And it's genuinely frustrating. There's no reason to make someone go through that. 4 and on, they flag things more appropriately, and frankly, if I'm talking to an adult, I don't expect them to want to wander around for 5 hours to try to figure out how to unlock a gate.
Oh, it's terrible for Saffron City, isn't it, though? Oh, my gosh.
And especially the older ones, when there weren't even like key items that would tell you in the description how to get through those gates. It's like, no, you have to think about going and getting a fresh water, which you can only get on the top of this building, and there's nothing anywhere that tells you that there are drinks there.
They also used a very big word to explain they were thirsty. They said parched in Gen 1, okay? I remember this because I was in 3rd grade. And I had just, like, in our vocabulary lesson, we had learned the word parched. And then I ran to that. I had been stuck and not been able to go into Saffron City forever. And I walked in and they like gave me the little spiel and said, "I'm parched." I was like, that means he's thirsty. And then I ran and I got I ran and got a water and came back.
Aww.
Stay in school,
Hilarious.
kids. Stay in school, kids. That's all I can.
I think if I were to do it cold, I mean, they are my favorite games, but they're my favorite games for a reason. I think I would hand them Sun or Moon. It gives you... I wouldn't go much older than Gen 4. I think the older games, sure, they have more wander and exploration times, but I don't... The restrictions on things like you can't use party members because you need fly. You need to have a bird. You need to have a fish.
The HM stuff, yeah.
And those are things that the games went away from because they aren't fun.
You're right.
They don't gate things in ways that encourage you. It's not like it's encouraging you to use a broad spectrum of Pokemon. It's restricting you from using the things you want to. I don't think I would go back further than Gen 4 generally, but realistically, maybe Gen 6. I think 7, when they have the Poké Ride, is a good one. It'll give you a broad spectrum of Pokemon. It'll introduce you to things like, hey, sometimes a Pokemon has the same name and a different type. And that's cool. That's also got some of the harder boss battles for a new player. Like, Totem Lurantis is not going to be a breeze fight if you've never played Pokemon. You're in a 2v1, you're at a disadvantage. But I don't think the old games, unless someone is like an old retro RPG guy who will enjoy wandering for 2 hours, I just don't think that they're gonna have fun. And I'm glad that the ROM hackers who play nothing else have decided that Pokemon Emerald is the best game of all time. But Jim, the accounting student, is not going to agree.
I think
No.
Gen 3 might be the worst place to start, I think, for a number of reasons.
Some reasons, yes. I think personally, I would... I only have 2 options for them. One is X and Y, and one is Scarlet and Violet. And it depends on availability. I probably wouldn't tell them to go Scarlet and Violet unless they had a Switch too, because
oh, absolutely not.
The frame rate is frustrating. X and Y, it is frustrating to us now because we are like, oh, there's so much to do between the first and the second gym. Oh, your rivals keep challenging you to a battle. But honestly, if that's the first game you play, it's okay. Because you learn what a gym is, and then you have a lot of time to visit like 4 different routes to build up your team. There are a lot of Pokemon. Most of the frustrating things like the 1-use TMs, the HMs, they don't come into play as much, or they are not there anymore. There's a lot of Pokemon in that game, but it's not to the point that it's overwhelming. Like, you can pick a team still. They introduce you to some cool new guys, and they give you a chance if you maybe saw a Pop-Tart advert on TV 25 years ago. They're like, oh, this Charmander guy was in there. I can get the lizard.
Those people.
Yeah.
I had no idea where this was going.
Yeah, they give you the cool new guys, they give you some of the old guys, and I think it's a really good experience as a first game. Scarlet and Violet, I think, might be the best experience if you do not have the performance issues. Because it's very immersive, but you are kind of free, as you were saying before. And just seeing the Pokemon around you. I wouldn't start them on Gen 7 like Lynian said, even though I love Gen 7. I love it so much. It has so many good things going for it, but it doesn't have gyms. And I don't want someone to play a Pokemon game and then go, oh, why is this different from what I'm used to every time they play every other Pokemon game?
Is this the only acceptable time to do Gen 8? Like, it's not disappointing if you've never played anything else.
No.
It's not disappointing. You can start at the bottom and then work your way up. But I
mean, it's available on hardware.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have hardware issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think gyms.
I think Pokemon Sword and Shield are very good 3DS games.
Yes.
I think they are very good 3DS Pokemon games. But I don't know. The question's at the end. We can talk about it a little bit more, but I do want to jump ahead to this question that I wrote in there. But because I mean you guys were talking about your experiences with Pokemon and stuff like that, and you bring up a lot of points. And there's several that I want to talk about, and some of them might just be me talking to people on stream about it this week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/puclpodcast. Yeah, be there or be square, where we talk about the topic, get your opinions, and I just get to go on really long rants sometimes. But this is a question I had, and this comes up a lot, I think, especially in our discussions. I asked this question to Bo and Claude a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's kind of relevant in this discussion, maybe not as much. But I wonder if you believe, and I don't exactly know the exact framing I want for this question, but it's more about asking about how nostalgia might play in the role of us choosing the pick, or if even that somewhat plays into the enjoyability of a Pokemon game nowadays, right? Do you need to have played the older stuff to enjoy the newer stuff? I don't think so, obviously, based on the fact Lynian saw a kid wearing a Liko and Roy shirt. But the question, I think, comes to like, does it impact our choices? Are we choosing things through that lens? Obviously, everybody has their own biases, but I wondered if that plays a role in the selection or the thought idea. I know you're very close to Sun and Moon, Lynian, but even then the games are still fine, I think. But the games are fine, I think, as well. I would choose those over Sword and Shield.
Like, am I close to it? Yeah, but I'm close to it because I think it's good. So, like, there's a little bit of the bias of I don't think some games are very good, or I think some are better. But the reason I would recommend that is more pragmatic. If I was going, full nostalgia, you could start where I started, or Oras or something. Yeah. I think.
Oh no, we should start at Oras. But
no one should start at Oras.
No.
Even though I think that it's probably, like, you could argue it's better. I wouldn't, but I know that most people would.
Yeah.
The reason, like, nostalgia is going to play into it, and I have to you have to assume that someone's going to have no nostalgia. But for me, it's I want to present them something I think they're going to enjoy on its own merits. And while Sun and Moon has nostalgia bait in it, weirdly, like
every Pokemon game
character showed up.
Every Pokemon game has some kind of nostalgia bait since Gen 6. Because they were upset after Gen 5, but that's another discussion.
They don't. It's not beaten over the head. And things like how it works are going. I think it just plays really cleanly. And if you're coming in from an outside perspective, there's that. I think nostalgia is the main reason people play old games.
Yeah.
Like anything before Gen. If you're playing a game from before Gen 4, I don't believe you if you tell me it's because the game design is better. I think that's when you were 10.
Yes. I agree, and I think the reason I would go to like a Gen 3 game personally for myself, not for somebody new, is just I think the artwork is cool. I like the artwork.
Yeah.
But that's about it. But that's nostalgia,
but the
right?
art is cool because you were 10. Like, if you look at it now, it's decent sprite art, but I can go and find, if all I care about is sprite art quality, I can get 15 things that look nicer in 20 minutes on Steam.
Absolutely correct.
I don't know. I personally think it's a combination of things, because Emerald, for example, I think is lovely. Like, it looks lovely to me. I often feel like I would like to replay it. I didn't play Emerald until I was 25, I think, because I didn't play it right away.
For what, 6-7 months or?
No, that's my point exactly.
It's actually not that far off, to be fair, though.
That's my point exactly.
Sorry.
Actually, I might have been. No, I think I might have been even older because I skipped Gen 3 and I picked it back up after I got back into Pokemon with Gen 4. So maybe I was like 27 when I played Emerald, and it had been out for like 4 years. I don't know. But my point is, I wasn't 10 ever while playing Pokemon. The youngest I was while playing Pokemon was 17.
Yeah.
So it's not childhood nostalgia for me. There is some nostalgia to the magical feeling that Pokemon used to have, even if you weren't 10. Like I remember wanting Pokemon Crystal because it felt magical. And I didn't have it back then. I had Silver. So now I like playing Crystal because I am experiencing some of that magic. But I don't think, as Lynian said, I completely agree. Nostalgia doesn't impact your enjoyment of the newer games as much as it impacts your enjoyment of the older ones. Because,
I would agree.
Think, for example, I recently tried, I made, that ultimate favorite Pokemon picker, whatever thingy.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, position 5 and 6 on my favorite Pokemon board are kind of fluctuating. So if you take those out, and keep in mind, those used to be both Gen 3 options, the most recent Pokemon that is among my favorites is Leafeon. So that's Gen 4.
Yeah.
And
it is an evolution, though. But
yeah, it's an evolution, but it's a Gen 4 one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I used to like Vaporeon in Gen 1. And now I like Leafeon and Sylveon. But I guess my point was, you don't always necessarily get stuck on the first game you played, the first Pokemon you encountered. They do hold meaning to you, but it's not like, oh, I'm never going to enjoy a game if it doesn't have Charmander in it,
Yeah.
No matter what Nintendo seems to think.
Exactly.
I don't even know that Charizard is popular because of its because
it was
the nostalgia.
At this point.
Yeah, I think it's just popular because it's cool Fire Dragon. Like, I think that's
it might just be popular because it's popular.
Yes. I genuinely believe that. Also, Pokemania was like its own thing at the time. Like we were talking about it off air before the news. The fact that the Pokemon like Night Out is just like 1 or 2 concerts, at least right now. And I mean, you look back at Pokemania, they're getting like all of the pop artists at the time to show up and just do something with Pokemon. Which is wild. I think Justin Timberlake did something with Pokemon at one point. Like, it's nuts. Like,
I would not be surprised.
There's absolutely everything in Pokemania. So it was definitely a different time, especially I also just missed the commercials from TV for the games because those were always wild. I remember the first Pokemon video game commercial where like the bus driver,
the one with the bus,
yeah, and then they squeeze them into the Game Boy.
Yeah,
it's just also extremely funny knowing that that's like less than 10% of the Pokemon now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We can barely fit them on this bus. Oh, buddy.
Oh, you're gonna need more buses.
You have no idea.
We're gonna need a bigger bus,
That's what they should have done for the Super Bowl ad. That's my favorite. Had the same guy come in. He's just an old man. I can't fit them all. We're gonna need a bigger bus.
We're gonna need a bigger bus, guys. It's a very interesting ads, but no, they had a lot of stuff back then. So I'm gonna kind of pivot us because we've been talking about the games themselves and like the typical games, and I wanted to I'm gonna break the rule where we're talking about like Pokemon RPGs almost at first, and then I'm gonna break it entirely. But what about something like Pokemon Legends Arceus? I know that came out and it played off very well with a lot of people when it came out. It brought a lot of people back to Pokemon. I don't know if that's necessarily where you would want to start somebody, like if I were to introduce them, but I was wondering what your take would be on something like that, just because it's different, but it's still Pokemon and it still connects to home. I don't know if you guys have opinions on that one specifically, or even like Legends EA, which maybe not the DLC, but
I don't think it would be a good idea. I'm gonna be real. Not only are you setting up expectations, if they like it, it's like, oh, what's like this now? It's like nothing, actually.
Nothing. Yeah.
no,
Even
ZA's
the next
close
Legends
is
game is
close-ish.
really different.
Yeah, close-ish, but not quite.
Maybe Gen 10. Who knows?
I don't even think Gen 10 will be, but
well, and it depends on what they like about it. I don't even mean like in a combat way. Just like, let's say they really like sneaking around and catching Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like, not what any of the other games are about.
They absolutely need that in Winds and Waves, though. You're right. What about you, Wim? Sorry, you were about to say something.
Oh no, I have almost the same opinion, which is that it is a really, really enjoyable game. And on the surface, you would think if someone likes something like, I don't know, 3D Zelda, maybe not Breath of the Wild, but I don't know, Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
I say as if I had played Skyward Sword, but
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah. So if you like that style of game, it might seem like a good stepping stone, but I think it's not as good as almost any RPG game as an RPG. And then you run into the problem that Lynian mentioned, which is like, okay, I enjoyed this. Give me another Pokemon game just like this one, and you don't have fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's... And there's also, like, you're not going to enjoy pretty much anything about the story because you don't have the references to understand what's going on.
You know what? Yep. That's a good one, actually. That's absolutely correct.
The story won't make any sense because you won't have the context of who these people are supposed to be. So what you're left with is a pretty mediocre action game. Where with decent stealth and capturing mechanics, but a miserable turn-based combat system.
Oh, yes.
Miserable.
Miserable.
Yes.
And did I like Legends ZA? Not Legends ZA. Legends Arceus? I did. I also recognized every character as they showed up and enjoyed the plays on that. And it was a change of pace for me, not setting a pace.
Exactly.
I think it would probably be one of the worst games, and I think that a new player coming to it would like Pokemon less.
The combat actually is bad. So
the combat is so stupid. Like, it would put people off, like Lynian said.
I remember saying it was bad, and then Shark tried to convince me otherwise once, and I go, explain to me how speed works in this game. And then he wrote a paragraph of like instructions on how it works. And I go, you see how you had to write me a paragraph? This means it's a bad game.
Yep. It's like, and also having played it a lot yesterday, as I was mentioning, the menus are horrible. The menus are horrible. Nothing is where you would want it to be. Nothing.
Yeah.
I hate it.
The game.
Yeah.
The game is amazing.
Also not very good.
The game is amazing, but it has so many bad features that you are willing to put up with if you are enjoying it because of reasons that no one will have if this is their first Pokemon game.
Yeah, no one's going to be like, I'm so glad I played the game where I caught 25 Geodude.
Exactly.
But for me, I'm like, wow, I'm actually doing research and filling out the decks this way. This
was cool.
A dynamic approach to this game mechanic that I'm intimately familiar with.
Exactly.
Spin.
Yeah, that was like the proper way to do like a Let's Go thing, by the way. And they should have leaned more to that in Let's Go. Since you had to catch Pokemon, so many Pokemon in Let's Go.
We are assuming that they tried to make Let's Go instead of using it as a glorified tech demo to teach their team how to do the Switch before they made Gen 8. And they barely did.
They did.
Yeah.
You are absolutely correct. But okay, yeah. Man, that was more fun than I assumed it would be. So yeah, other questions I had, and maybe this is probably for later, but so we'll ask two more. How much do you think the ability to play with others matters? I know, Lynian, you don't really care about like multiplayer games because we're talking about Pokemon Champions, which is a little bit different, I think. But
this is also different because
yes,
I like multiplayer games. I don't like games that are competitive multiplayer.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah, that's what I figured you meant. I just wanted to make sure we made that clarification. But
yeah, I'll play Mario Kart all day. I'm not going to do ranked online, and I'm not going to play. I'll play 2-player Pokemon. I'm not going to go play Champions on ladder for 6 hours.
No, why would you play Pokemon Showdown on cart? You know, like, unless you really wanted to. I know I get joy out of doing stuff like that, but that's for a different reason because I like quick short games.
It is a different and valid drive that I do not possess. No,
you're correct. Playing competitive is a completely different way to play, which is one of those great things about Pokemon that we talk about all the time. But yeah. But what about you, Wims? Like being able to trade and battle friends, like, do you think that's important overall in terms of the experience? Because I think about when a new game comes out at PUCL, just being like, oh man, we have all these people that are playing, and it's very easy to go, oh hey, did you find this XYZ? And then somebody goes, yeah, I found it, and they send it to me. And that's one of my favorite things about playing Pokemon is around the release when you can just find a bunch of people playing with you.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you said around the release. Because when you're a kid, the same everyone is playing the same game on the playground. Yeah. But right now, I mean, okay,
maybe I don't know.
Back when we were kids,
playing the same game on Roblox. Is that how that works?
Maybe, yeah. They're playing Roblox or Minecraft or.
No, the point that I was trying to make was I do remember playing some of the games as they came out. Like I think it was Sword and Shield that I played. Essentially the first 8 hours of my playthrough were like in voice chat with people in PUCL. And we had a great time. But then when I had to pick up the games afterwards and play them after everyone was done with them, because again, lost the save files, then I was like, I don't want to bother anyone with this. I don't want, like, I have friends that I could call up. I could come to the PUCL Discord server and say, hey, does anyone want to do blueberry points with me? Because I need to unlock stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go up to people and...
Yeah, I get that.
And so if you catch the zeitgeist, you're in for one of the best experiences of your life. But
I see.
If you don't, then it gets kind of sad because it's like, oh, there's probably someone playing this game, but it's not someone I know personally, and I don't want to go up to someone I barely know online and tap on their shoulder and say, hey, excuse me, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
I agree with Wims a lot here. How highly would I weigh that? It's irrelevant because the community isn't playing a game right now.
That's fair.
If a new game was coming out and I had reason to believe it was going to be halfway decent, I'd say, hey, get the new one. We're all going to be playing it together. But I guess I wouldn't want... I guess recommending something off later than the Switch era, basically, because the 3DS servers are down. That might matter, because then you could still do trading and rating and all that.
Yeah, I think about like friend safaris and X and Y, right? Like you can't even do that anymore.
Nope.
Yep.
Those don't work. So there are genuine reasons to... It may slightly nudge me to a Switch game, because then multiplayer still works. But it's not like I can say, hey, play this. There's a thriving community that's right there, and are going to be like-minded people you enjoy, because they're not playing a specific game right now. So it doesn't weigh in. We're in an off season.
No, that's a good point. Okay, so I think I'm going to end it with one last question to wrap everything up. We've been hinting at it. I think most of us have said, or at least you two might have said close to the answer. But if you had to choose right now, somebody came up to you and you got to give them a game, what is that game going to be? What's that game going to be?
I think I've talked myself into Gen 8, and that hurts. I don't like those games.
I don't know who does. Well, maybe somebody who started with it. Like, I imagine in like 10 years, we're going to have a bunch of kids going, man, wouldn't it be great if they made a Sword and Shield remake? And
I'd be down for a remake. Maybe they'll fix it. I actually, you know what? I say that. I don't think you can. I think they're fundamentally flawed and broken. However,
there's some things I would fix. Yeah.
They follow the format really tightly. There's a way to get a lot of Pokemon very early on. They have DLC that has some interesting mechanics, and they have ways that I can play that aren't just battling and trading. I can go and help them with a raid. They can do it, and I don't have to worry about it being too difficult because those games are too easy. I think this might be the only defensible time you can say Sword and Shield. In my heart of hearts, I think I would prefer them to play Gen 7. Scarlet and Violet, I think they're open and they give you objectives, but I think if you do not know how to play the game and also aren't going to look up a gym order online, because you're not going to do that for a new game, I think they are also very possible to give yourself have a bad time. Just doing the gyms either out of order. You absolutely can hit things that are difficult fast, and then just feel like, okay, I guess I wander over here. I think you want to give them something with a little more hand holding. So Gen 8, if I have no faith in their taste. Gen 7, if I think that they'll understand that that gyms are in other games.
If I respect them, Gen 7.
Yeah, exactly. So if gyms are going to be important, if I think that that's something that's going to hook Gen 8, but
no, that's fair.
Gen 7, and I'll tell them, you're going to see that there's a better version called Ultra. Don't play it. It's worse. It's better, but it's worse.
Yeah.
What about you, Wims?
I think my answer is Scarlet. Scarlet specifically, not Violet.
You know what? I think that's the right answer. I think that's the right answer.
Because the story makes way more sense in Scarlet, and B, like from a physics standpoint, it makes more sense in Scarlet.
It's so clear that they thought of Scarlet first, like as the concept, and they're just like, how do we make this different? And then how do we make a second version? And then they came up with Violet, and they're just like, what happened here? Well, we were going to say it was some time travel shenanigans or something. And then, what, Dream World? Other dimensions?
Yep. And also, I don't want them to get to like the final cool area of the game and find 9 Pokemon that are all named the same thing. Because that feels lazy.
That was so lazy. They could have come up with other metals, right? Like, like
at least that.
Genuinely, like we have iron everything in Gen, like they could have been like Palladium Valiant, you know, like
that would have been so cool.
Isn't that's so much cooler? Just do Palladium Valiant, you could do Vanadium bundle. I don't know, like it's so easy.
Letters are a problem, but I understand what you're saying.
Well, you could choose other things that aren't iron. Like there are plenty of other metals to choose from. There's plenty of other metals to choose from that aren't that crazy. I think you still could maybe and get away with it, but yeah.
Tin, I don't know.
Tin would work. Tin bundle probably would have made more sense.
Tin bundle because it looks like a toy, like a spring toy.
Like a tin toy.
And then you need its opposite, pewter, and then.
Okay, I know the reference you're doing. I see it.
I'm just gonna casually lean back a little bit here, and then.
Cadmium. Yeah. Okay. Nobody like there's a select few versions of our listeners.
5 people who really appreciated that. That's all I need.
Yeah. They listen because they talk to me about it on stream all the time. They're like, you drop these things. I was like, yep.
As a side, hi Reese.
But yeah.
You've got your higher eye, I've got mine.
Yeah. But yeah, those are definitely very interesting. For myself, I'd probably I think I would either do Scarlet and Violet or X and Y, depending on how I felt that day. I'd probably do X and Y if like I was doing something with them, if that was my relationship with the person, so that one of us could play X, the other one could play Y, we could complete the decks.
I do.
Yeah,
I think I do X and Y if they had a 3DS.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm assuming they have.
If they don't already have it.
Yeah.
That's what made me lean Scarlet.
I would worry. My concern with that is, sure, the game is kind of fun, but the story is so bad.
But the story is weak.
And it's
Absolutely
so dry. I feel like if anyone played that, their takeaway might just be, oh, so these are just really kids games.
I see. Now that's a good point. I just think the Pokemon selection's good. It gives Gen 1-ish vibes and how like simple the story is. But
exactly.
And you can get Charizard. Like who doesn't want to play with Charizard? I guess. And that's his favorite Pokemon. Everybody knows this. But I would probably lean Scarlet and Violet overall, just because I think at this point it would be really cool to introduce them to like the ecosystem of Pokemon. So that because it has home connectivity,
right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they have a Switch too. Yeah. But that way they can connect directly to Pokemon Home with the Pokemon they have, and then if they get something else where they could transfer the Pokemon in, it makes sense. They can use them. They can understand the Pokemon ecosystem a little bit better. I think that would be the only reason I would do that, though. Well, maybe not the only reason, but Scarlet and Violet I think are also okay games. They're pretty fun. The gym order thing is definitely a thing. To your point, even the opposite is unfun. Because I accidentally did it on my first playthrough of Scarlet and Violet, because they said you can go through any of these gates and like go whichever way you want. And I went through the gate, instead of going to the bug type gym leader Katie, I went to the grass type gym leader Brassius. See how I know their names, and not any of the Gen 4 gym leaders. Or Gen 6 gym leaders. I know that. Well, I know some of the Gen 4 gym leaders, I guess. Maybe I don't know all of them. I'm trying to think.
I could, but we don't need to prove this.
I don't want you to do this. But I went to Brassius first, and the levels are a little bit higher because Brassius is meant to be second, but it's not high enough that it's like you can't do it in the game.
Yeah.
But it makes it even more of a bummer to go back and do Katie after that, because everything's even lower than where you just were. It's not nearly as fun.
Yeah, and Brassius also has like a really cool joke with his Terra. And Katie doesn't, so she feels a bit lackluster.
I still don't know why she had a Teddy Ursa. Like, pretty much every other gym leader, their type morph was either, it was tied to it, or it was, like, thematically resonant. And it's like, what is this? Why?
I think it's just because she she makes sweets, and Teddy Ursa likes honey. I think that's the only reason.
Does it at least have... You know what? I'm going to look this up.
It had to have, like, Fury Cutter or something, right? Like,
if it's got Fury Cutter, that's one thing.
I think it had Fury Cutter.
It's got Fury Cutter. It only knows Fury Cutter and Fury Swipes.
Yeah.
As a very angry teddy bear.
Yeah.
It's just it is a weird team. I don't disagree.
Thinking about her terrestrialized Teddy Ursa reminded me that last night I failed a shiny Teddy Ursa in Arceus because I couldn't really remember how the game worked, and so I went towards the Teddy Ursa, and I didn't remember it. Yeah, it's one of those Pokemon that run away, and I didn't remember that.
I do think that was disappointing. I do think that Katie's gym is also just not as exciting. Like, you go see this giant windmill, and you're like, "Wow, what a cool gym!" And then you go, but Katie's just like
giant windmill, and you go, "Wow, the Switch is very weak."
Yes, the Switch can. Is that windmill moving at 2 frames per minute? Like, what is happening? Like, it was. Yeah, I think it's moving. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good place to stop. We'll wrap it up here, and we'll go ahead and we'll kick it on over then to our Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Yay!
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, They can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to our Poké Quiz. Mark read all the rules, so I don't have to repeat them to you. So we're going to just jump into it. As always, Professor Oak likes to remind you it's time to Poké Quiz. You can submit your questions at puclpodcast.com. Carrier pigeons do not work. They just can't find me. I actually learned a lot about carrier pigeons recently. It felt a lot like that time I learned about orca whales.
Oh, you have a new special interest.
It's not a new special interest. It's not a new special interest. It was just...
It's a new potential special interest?
I just learned and now I'm done. I learned and now I'm done. Okay?
Okay. So I cannot,
I learned how they work.
I can't, get you to tell me all about them by mentioning them while we're doing the show.
Not on the show.
Okay, no. Off the show because I'm actually interested. So
yeah, I learned
one
how they
other
work.
time.
It's actually really cool.
I do want to learn about them, and I will get you to tell me about it some other time.
Yeah. All right, but either way, this is our first question this week. I would like to let you both know, as it's your first time since we've made the change, there is a timer bar that goes down. It is 2.5 minutes, which is way more than enough time, I think, for these intro questions. But that way you get cut off at 2.5 minutes. So here we go. Our first question, and it also removes my ability to be like, I need an answer when you guys say the right answer. So
fair.
I'm not allowed to do that. I tried to do that to Seth last week, and he's like, no, you can't do that.
He called you out so hard.
So the question doesn't start until I hit the button to start the timer, so don't stress out while we're reading the question or anything. But here we go. Our first question is going to be from Jared Cornelius fan, returning. In which South American country is Mew found, according to the journal entries, in the Pokemon Mansion in Fire Red and Leaf Green?
Yeah. So I remember what it sounds like. So I am of two minds.
I only know the answer.
Yeah, in Guyana. Yeah. Guyana or Guam, but I don't think Guam is where I think it is. So it should be Guyana. Not in the same place at all. Exactly.
No. Neither of them are in South America.
Guyana is in South America. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of French.
Yeah, you're thinking of New Guinea or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Yes.
I know I could find it on a map.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
So that's because you weren't raised by the American education system. But yes.
Exactly.
My brain is just for some reason thinking Brazil, but I don't. If you feel like I'm willing to give this to you. It's been.
I remember this.
I know this answer, and I'll explain why. But are we gonna say Guyana?
I'm 90% sure, so I might be about to trip and fall on my face here. But
I feel like this is wrong. I just don't have a better answer.
Are we gonna go with Guyana?
I would like to.
Guyana is correct. Okay. It is. I only know about it because that's where a lot of the rums I buy come from. They're also down to one distillery. It's a shame. It's a shame. You want to talk about things you can get me to rant about on the show? I probably shouldn't, but rum is one of them. They're down to one distillery, so every Guyana rum comes from the same place anyway. All right. So, you guys are 1 for 1. Your next question is your general trivia question, as always. It is going to come to you from Ace Trainer Nova. What is Ditto's normal not hidden ability? Not hidden. Okay, well, I didn't have to start the timer, but the answer is, in fact, Limber. Yes.
I just know that one.
You see how the timer didn't matter what you got.
We'll bank that 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, no, you don't get to bank them, unfortunately. This is I'm not an early 2000 cell phone plan. You can't, no rollover.
I remember when it was a big deal that I got unlimited texting.
I know. I remember this weekends. Too. Yeah. After 5 o'clock. All right, here we go. You guys are 2 for 2. Your next ones are your Pokedex entries. These you get, I think, 2.5 minutes per entry. So don't. Again, stress out.
Okay, chill.
There is no rollover, as always, because then I have to type it into PowerPoint. That's really too much to do for me. All right, here we go. This is from Doctillery. Really good name. And the first entry is from Pokemon Violet. Its skin is very thin. If it's exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak.
Zubat?
Oh. Zubat is not in Pokemon Violet. This is Zubat's Pokédex entry. But Zubat is not in Pokemon Violet, is it? Oh, wait, is it in the DLC?
It probably is.
Is it in Kitakami? I don't remember seeing it there. No, I'm fairly sure it is not in Pokemon Violet.
I will confirm or deny
this. This is
for you.
Zubat, though.
Yeah, I know it is a Zubat's Pokédex entry, but Zubat is not in Violet.
It was in a DLC that you have forgotten.
I will confirm or deny this for you for free.
It is not in
Pokemon Violet.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it might be something else that lives in a cave. Well, that doesn't help me.
Okay. I
didn't even start the timer.
Timer. That's fine. Great.
What else lives in caves and is in Violet? Some sort of
not Sableye.
No.
Not Arc. Maybe Frigibax.
It could be something like Frigibax.
Well, because it's got thermal exchange as its ability.
Exactly. Yeah, and you don't often find it outside. Sometimes, but not often.
You have to find it in caves. I know, because it took me forever to find it. I've never had an easy time finding this Pokemon.
I think it's a great answer, then.
What are we locking in? Frigibax?
Yeah, I was thinking it was a reptile, and it is a reptile, so...
All right, Frigibax, we're going to move on to your next entry. Your next entry is from Pokemon Sun.
So not Frigibax.
It chews on plant roots underground.
Oh,
Farmers whose vegetables are vulnerable can be quite a pest.
It's Diglett.
I believe you. I don't know this one.
No timer required. We've got Diglett. I put a Alolan Diglett because I thought it might have been accidentally the Alolan Diglett entry. It is not. It is only the Diglett entry for Pokemon Sun. The Alolan Diglett entries always like to talk about its hair.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Its majestic mane.
I mean, they did that to be silly, which I kind of agree with, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I think the Diglett hair gets me more than the Dugtrio hair.
I love the Dugtrio hair. But then, again, I am from the 80s, so...
You are 3 for 3. This is your multiple answer question. There are 6 answers here, so for every 2 answers you give me, I'll give you a point for a total of 3. And so we're going to go ahead. I will say that you get longer on this one. It's 4 minutes on the timer, but the timer does not restart if you use the hint. I will not do that because it's too many button presses.
Okay.
So, all right. This is from Chairman Chargebug. Good day. I choose these based on names. There are 6 moves that cause entry hazards. And I took away the Gmax moves because that would have made it 8. And I thought that would be unfair to include Gmax moves. What are they? You have 3 strikes, all that nonsense. You do have to lock them in, but there are 6 moves.
So when you say cause, you mean it like as a side effect?
Both. So it could be the main effect as well.
Okay.
It could be the only effect. It could be the only
that's
effect.
much easier.
I only thought of one.
Much easy. I can think of 2.
Ceaseless Edge is 1.
Yeah, and Stone Axe.
Ceaseless Edge, Ceaseless Edge, and Stone Axe. You got the harder ones.
Then you have
Toxic Spikes,
Toxic Spikes, Sticky Web, Stealth Rock. That's it.
You got all 6. You got all 6. Yep. You did it. You didn't even need 4 minutes. That's all of them. For all of you at home who didn't catch them, by the way, Ceaseless Edge, Spikes, Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, Stone Axe, Toxic Spikes.
I don't know if I would have gotten Stone Axe, mostly because I forget that move exists.
Yeah, but that is all of them. Yeah, most of them were just only set the hazard, like Spike, Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, and Toxic Spikes, but Ceaseless Edge and Stone Axe also set them as a side effect.
I misunderstood the question. I thought there were 6 moves that set that. I was like, oh no.
No.
One.
No. But yeah, there you go. That's 3 points. You guys are 6 for 4. We're going to move into the final question, which is, as always, the base stat question. And this is from Rip Slagcheek. I don't know where this name came from, but I liked it.
Name.
I liked it.
Nope.
What Pokemon with the Flash Fire ability has the highest base special defense? It's because of his fire type, so they chose Slag GK.
Sure.
Ooh. Okay. So,
What do you get Flash Fire?
Heatran, does Mega Heatran still get Flash Fire?
I don't know, but that's a new Pokemon since Champion, so let's say it.
Well, so okay, I will give you the free hint here that Heatran's ability has not been determined yet because it's not actually in Pokemon Champions yet.
Got it. Okay.
So the answer would be Heatran.
I don't know if that's higher than Vulpix, the Ninetales, which is like 120, I want to say.
I think Heatran has 130 something. It's very special defensive.
Its special attack is 130, I think.
I seem to remember
its highest stat is actually its special attack. It's just that it
Ooh, then I might be getting confused.
Has good enough defenses and a really good type. What other Pokemon have Flash Fire?
Oh gosh.
There's Ninetales.
Something. So things that have Flash Fire. I don't know the stats of Armarouge and Cerulege.
They're not that high.
No,
they have their attacks
I didn't think so.
Stats. There are
Chandelure.
What?
Chandelure.
Do we know Mega Chandelure's ability yet? It's Shadow Tag, isn't it?
I think no, it got Infiltrator. It kept Infiltrator.
Oh, it's not Chandelure. Mega Chandelure. I can't think of anything over 120. It might actually just be Ninetales.
Do you want to use the hint?
You do have the hint?
Because
yeah.
I would say Heatran.
This is how do I say it? This is a monotype fire type from Generation 1.
Okay.
And its highest stat is not special defense. I believe it's attack.
It's Flareon or Arcanine. Does Flareon get Flash Fire?
Flareon does, but its 130 is in. It's Flareon then, because it had 130 attack and its 110 has to go to special defense.
Yeah.
Because it's useless. Because it's Flareon.
Flareon is correct. Flareon has a base 110 special defense. Oh, I forgot to put Centiskorch in. But there's also Heatran at 106 in second place. You guys named like almost everything else on the board. Cerulege and Ninetales are also there at 100, and then Centiskorch follows up at 90. So yeah, you guys got it. Centiskorch. Yeah, makes it.
Wow.
That's a Pokemon?
The Centiskorch.
Yeah, that was kind of my point.
With a K. Yeah.
I always forget that it exists.
Not even a spelling. I just forget that Pokemon exists.
Because this is the problem that I found. This was like a Dexedish problem that I knew was going to happen, and it keeps happening. Where there's certain Pokemon
it's not
that
in
were
any
only
game since.
Yeah, they were only in Sword and Shield, and you never see them again.
Yeah,
I'm sure this will change eventually, but until they get out of Sword and Shield, we're gonna feel that way.
Please let my buddy Drake. Can you see him? No, he's too high.
No,
Drake.
My buddy Drake is old.
Drake is old. Needs to come back. They all need to come back. I don't know why. How do they not let that gimmick back in?
I don't know. I always use those Pokemon as the answers in Pokédoku because I know no one else remembers them except me and you, Lynian.
No, those Pokemon, I think...
It's just a guy.
I think about them all the time.
And Arctozolt is just a guy with a cold.
I don't like Arctozolt. It's the nose drip. It's the same reason I hate Cubchoo.
So for some reason, I hate Cubchoos, but I do not hate Arctozolts because Arctozolts is visibly frozen, while Cubchoos is not. That was not an intentional pun. I am so sorry.
All right. I'm going to switch to this one where I was told I totally misspelled Shark Finnegan's name, and that's okay. So in slot number 1 now, because you guys got 7 points today, we've got Lynian with 39 points.
Right.
In second, we've got Seth Vilo with 36. In third, Jushiro with 33. In fourth, Whimsicott with 31. In fifth, Claude9 with 27. In sixth, Shark Finnegan with 26. In seventh, R Sigma with 15. In eighth, Bosaphus with 11. In ninth, Sublime Manic with 7. And in 10th, Mark with 5. Shamu, I believe, has 4 on the board as well, but because we're on the free version of this software, I can only have 10. So that's where we are. The top 4 get to go duke it out for whatever it is, a $25 gift card to Outback Steakhouse or something of the like. And somebody in the comments will yell at me that there needs to be a real prize, but they don't actually listen to the show at the end of the year to realize that it is a real prize, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, that is going to be it for our Poké Quiz. You can tune in next week for more Poké Quiz action. But until then, we've got our Poké Opinion. So we'll kick it on over to that. Welcome to our Poké Opinion. Our Poké Opinion ties into our topic today. I just didn't think it was super appropriate to talk about at the topic, or it didn't fit in well. Not that it wasn't appropriate, but it didn't fit in well. Are there spin-offs, Pokemon spin-offs, that you would recommend to a non-Pokemon fan? And what would they be? I think that is a fun little question, fun little exercise. I was thinking about it and rolling it around with Whimsicott, and I think my answer, I have 2 answers depending on whether I like you or I don't. So if I like you, I think if I were to recommend a Pokemon, like something that still like feels a little Pokemon, but is not a mainline Pokemon game, I would probably recommend new Pokemon Snap.
Sure.
I think that is a fun game. It's a good rail shooter. The pictures are really pretty. The graphics look really nice, and it's just a very cozy, relaxed game. I think that is a good choice, a good easy choice. Like if somebody were just like, "Hey, what would you recommend?" I know Pokeopia just came out, but I feel like that's pretty heavy. I don't know. That's a lot of game. It's like I feel with Pokeopia, I feel like it's like this. I'm giving them a bicycle to go ride, and with Pokeopia, I'm giving them a Dodge Charger. You know, like I'm giving them a lot of car.
Yeah. My only concern would be, I don't remember enough of the puzzles. Are there any that are going to be like, I see a Pikachu, I know it can make electricity to turn on the generator?
That's a good question. I don't remember the puzzles well enough to be able to tell you that, actually.
Yeah, so that would be my only concern, is I would want to go
That's
back
a good point.
Like, all right, is there anything, are there going to be a lot of interactions that are moon logic if you don't have like a couple of things around, like type chart, or Seviper and Zangoose don't like each other? So I know you're not going to know to lead them into each other to watch them fight, but that's one interaction. Is that going to carry through the rest of the game?
I don't think that, I don't recall that being a problem, but that's a good point to think about, actually. And then if I don't like you, my answer is Pokemon Dash. Nobody should ever play that game. I think Pokemon Dash is a terrible video game, and nobody should ever play it. It was like the first Pokemon DS game, and it shows.
Well, the good news is no one remembers it, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody that is listening right now probably knows what it is.
Did you know you can play as Munchlax?
Yeah.
The Pokemon with 5 base speed in the racing game.
Have you ever thought to yourself, were you ever just like, man, what if there was like a Pokemon Mario Kart, but worse, but way worse? And you just have to use the stylus on the bottom of your screen to like tap and slide it around and move the Pokemon. It's a very bad game. I do not recommend.
If you truly hate someone, give them Pokemon Ranger, because it's good enough they'll finish it, but it will destroy their DS.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Especially the original Ranger. Oh my gosh. But what do you guys have? What spin-off game would you recommend to other people?
I have 3 very different answers depending on the kind of person they are and the kind of game they want to play. So if they are the kind of person who is physically able and enjoys being outside and walking places, I would definitely give them Pokemon Go.
Okay. I think that's a choice.
I think it has gotten a little overly complicated in the last few years. Like, I would have given them Pokemon Go the way it was the first, 2 years it was out.
Yeah.
Nowadays, maybe not.
I have some comments about why that probably is, but I don't know if they're appropriate for this show.
If they want a game that introduces them to Pokemon a tiny bit, but is more like other games they might have liked in the past, I would give them Pokemon Conquest. Like if they like Fire Emblem, I would give them Pokemon Conquest. And if they want just a casual game with cute little graphics and Pokemon that show up sometimes, I would give them Ruby Sapphire Pinball.
Actually,
I think Pinball's the best answer.
Good game.
Pokemon Pinball's a good answer. Because I think that one has like a lot of just fun mechanics and just fun pick up and play abilities. I don't know.
And I think like specifically the thing that I remember the most about Ruby Sapphire Pinball, besides its general enjoyability, is the little mini game, like the screen where you have to throw the sphere into a basket, like they're basketballs.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, if that doesn't make you fall in love with Sphere and with Sphere, like with Pokemon as a whole, like there's a cute little creature that is a seal, but it's also a sphere. Like, what is gonna make you fall in love with Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like,
for me, I think there is a if I like you, if I hate you answer. I think I would genuinely recommend if I like the person. I think Pokopia, yes, it's a lot of game, but it's a lot of game that does not require you to know much about Pokemon. Everything is really well flagged, and it's good. There's a solid loop, and it's not going to require you to do anything esoteric. And it's thoughtful, and if you're going to like the franchise, you have to like the Pokemon. So a game where you are just trying to build and befriend them, and it's very player expression, and it doesn't require you to be crazy into building to have fun. If I hate you, I'm going to send you to play Pokemon Unite.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I had to stop playing that on stream because my wife would get mad at me. Because I would get so upset at the teammates.
It's all of the insidious evil of getting someone into League, except they get to factually know most of their opponents are children. And I think that is an extra layer of hate that really elevates the dish.
Yeah, that's Pokemon Unite for you. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Well, that's been our Poké Opinion, I guess, guys. If you guys have answers to either this or the topic, please send them in at puclpodcast@gmail.com. But we have one more small segment to get to, and that's our mailbag/feedback episode. So let's get part of the episode. So let's go ahead and kick it on over to that one. Welcome to our mailbag, the segment of the show where you can send us an email at puclpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on our YouTube channel or something else, and we might read it on the show. So with that, we'll get into it. But first, I would be remiss to not mention our sponsor, who is very fictional and an energy drink called Green Toros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
Yep. All right, and with that, we are going to kick it on over to our mailbag. But first, I want to make sure I do this because I think it's important, and we get a lot of good feedback on YouTube as well. So we had a YouTube comment of the episode, and it is Osh from YouTube, and he says, I like the format when talking about Pokemon Champions, which is what we asked you guys about last week. I like the format, and I really appreciate having a mega-centric competitive scene again. The most I've ever been into comp Pokemon was X and Y and Sun and Moon, and it feels kind of nostalgic seeing some familiar faces from back then. The arena even aesthetically looks like the 3DS Battle Stadium. Terra burned me out of competitive Pokemon so hard. I'm happy I can play Champions without having to gaslight myself into thinking I like it. I will say that Terra, even in the small amount of VGC I played for Scarlet and Violet, did break my brain. I will not lie. I still now, like, I'm playing the game and I'm like, okay, it's okay. I can bring this Pokemon, but then it'll just terrestrialize it into Ghost like it's supposed to. And then we're going to be okay. And then I was like, oh, wait, that mechanic no longer exists. And I was like, I'm like, that is slightly refreshing and makes the game a little bit more predictable because I don't have to worry about them also terrestrializing into something weird. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that, Ash, on the YouTube. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel, and you might also be featured on the show in this segment. With that, we've got an email from Reptile and Whimsicott. You're going to read this one.
Good evening, Puckle. Your next world champion Reptile here. I've been a Pokemon fan my whole life, but I never really got into the competitive scene until recently. Even after falling down the rabbit hole of VGC YouTube, I only ever ventured into competition briefly and without much enthusiasm. Pokemon Champions, however, has turned me around completely, and now I can't get enough. The game has been out for a week, and I already have 6 different teams with a wide variety of Pokemon and strategies. How could a slow, poorly optimized game with less than 1/10 of all Pokemon and a frankly pitiful item selection, not to mention the dreaded paid... Well, what did you do, Thatch? Sorry.
Sorry. I changed the font. I'm so sorry. I forgot you were reading the document. I was doing it for the show.
I am reading the document. I'm sorry.
It's now on 2 pages, my man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my main problem with that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'll start again from...
It seems to be a Thatch only thing.
It's cool. I no longer had the text under my eyes, and I had to stop. I apologize.
I didn't think about it. Sorry.
Not to mention the dreaded paid battle pass makes such a drastic change to a filthy casual like myself. It's simple, really. They made the barrier to entry much, much lower. Back in the long-forgotten years of Scarlet and Violet, I began my first attempt at VGC with a simple Regulation H team. I picked my favorites, Serperior, Como, Alolan Ninetales, and Tinkaton, and put in a couple other useful mons along the way. Training those 6 Pokemon in Violet took me hours, and nearly all of my in-game currency for vitamins, but I did it, and I loved the team. That said, when I realized that the team was just entirely walled by Goldango, I had no motivation to readjust my team or train another team member because of the time and effort I knew it would take, with the knowledge that I would likely not get it right the first time. Every time I lost felt like a punch to the gut, because I had invested so much time into my team, and heaven forbid I needed to retrain any of my Pokemon. It was tedious, annoying, and just awful for someone with unmedicated ADHD like myself.
Brother.
In Champions, however, I can train and retrain entire teams in a matter of minutes. I have a nearly complete living dex in home already from my previous games, so it's hardly any trouble to pick whoever I want to play with, even if it's just on a whim, and make a team around them. Just today, I decided it would be fun to try and make a Trick Room team built around Nasty Plot, Galarian Slowking. Ooh, fun. It's not a very good team, but I got a few matches in, and it was fun even while I was losing because it didn't represent hours of investment, and I got to use a Pokemon I appreciate but wouldn't have otherwise looked at. Pokemon Champions isn't for everyone, and frankly, it's a very flawed game for a number of reasons. But it was crafted in a lab specifically to appeal to players like me, and I'm having a blast with it. My friend code is on the Discord if you want to challenge my championship Galarian Slowking team. Thatch, this is where you say join the Discord at puclpodcast.com. The engagement will be through the roof. It's okay, I did it for you, brother. And I hope to play against more creative and fun teams on the ladder. Signing off with a prayer in my heart for 6v6 singles someday, Reptile.
Oh, thanks, Reptile.
That was so good.
That was a good one. All right. I'm going to let you go to this next one, Lynian, from Pokemon and Beer.
Yeah, I can finally scroll back down to where it was.
Sorry. It was easier to see on the YouTube.
Hello, Puckle people. I enjoyed your back and forth about champions last week. I think you talked about the positives and negatives in a healthy manner. For my thoughts, I'm going to first note that I'm ignoring the bugs. I personally have not experienced any, so I'm not going to use the experience of others as a driving force in my own feelings towards the game. First off, I'm enjoying a low-powered format with Pokemon choices and items available. I can see how this is being treated as a beta test, but I also think there's something to be said about not including the super dominant Megas and just keeping things a little more relaxed. And yes, saying that with Mega Gengar in the format should be comical, but it hasn't been as big of a menace as I thought it would be. At first, I was sad and annoyed by the lack of items, but after playing a lot, I think it's funny that Choppleberry is arguably a top-tier item. I want the mainstays of VGC to come back, but I think for right now it's forcing people to build teams in a completely different way, which I think is healthy for both new players and longtime battlers.
I think it would be better if Incineroar and Sneasler were gone.
I think it'd be better if Incineroar was gone and Sneasler was more powerful. Second, I am very optimistic about the unprecedented number of changes they made in Champions. Make It Rain, Blood Moon, Astral Barrage, and others all received BP nerfs.
We don't know that because the Pokemon that have them haven't been actually in Champions yet, to be fair. But
yeah, and also Make It Rain didn't receive a BP nerf. It got an accuracy nerf.
Mm-hmm.
Dire Claw's status chance was reduced significantly.
Yes.
I feel obligated to object to this, but even I cannot look 50% status in the eye. And
I
say,
know,
this is
right?
fair.
Yeah.
Better than Scald. Come
that
on.
move was objectively overtuned. It was also hysterical, and I love it. Freeze and Sleep status were both changed. Then random moves like Trop Kick, Grav Apple, Beak Blast, and others received BP buffs.
Good.
Unseen Fist was nerfed to only do 1/4 damage through Protect instead of max. This gives me confidence that they'll continue to make good metagame changes for balancing to keep the game fair and fun. Overall, I think this game has great bones. I mean, it's Pokemon. Of course it has good bones. But I'm looking at it as the competitive platform for the foreseeable future. I'm very happy with the starting point and the direction. Looking forward to have more coverage on Champions, and I hope to play in some of the weekly tournaments. Later, Pokemon_and_beer.
Well, thank you for that one. No, I think the buffs and the tweaks they made were very healthy. So
I'm glad that they mostly buffed signature moves.
Yes.
What is Grav Apple's?
It was bad.
80?
No, it was
75, 80
before, so it's
so
90.
That's good.
But it also
okay.
100 it drops defense every time, and that did before.
Mm-hmm.
And it has its power boosted by 50% if there's gravity. It was a really fun move to use. It just wasn't very good. I don't think this will push it over the edge to being good, but it might push it over the edge from being fun to being extremely funny.
No, there's
that's enough for me.
Like the meta in general is just really fun. Even without the Astral Barrage nerf, like if we think about just like the fact there's no IVs, it turns out that foul play just all the time kills
Spectre. I'm not Spectre, but Calyrex Shadow Rider.
Shadow Rider, yeah. It one-hit KOs before when it was zero
every
attack.
time.
It wouldn't, yeah. So it's kind of neat to have that kind of stuff in consideration. Like the game is different now. Like the calculations are different, and that is so interesting and fun to see. It
did cost one of my favorite builds of all time, which is 14 attack IV stack attack. 14
I
defense
know.
IV stack attack.
I've thought about this. This is the reason that I talk about it all the time.
It's the only downside is that you cannot make an attack boosting stack attacker, but it's okay. It got body press, so it's almost as fun. It's not as funny, but it's almost as funny.
One of my favorite comments I've heard throughout like the whole Champions debacle so far, because one of the things they saw early was that Incineroar lost access to knockoff. Yeah. And somebody said it's not really a nerf because there's no good items for Incineroar to knock off anyway. It's just like I was like, wow. I'm like, you're not wrong, but like
I am about to run a Ninetales holding Never Melt Ice.
Yeah, I know. When was the last time you used a stat boosting or type boosting item? Like never.
So when information was just trickling out, one of the first things to leak was the new abilities.
Yeah.
And so we got a description for Excadrill that said that it dealt 25 damage through Protect.
Yeah.
Now, that was told to me a long time before the no guard or unseen
no
fist
guard
nerf.
Unseen fist, yeah.
Unseen fist nerf came through. So I just thought it was a bad version of Unseen Fist, which is fine because that's like a really limited thing. And then I found out Golurk got it. And so there was about a 2-hour window where
Before
I
you
thought
figured
Mega
out
Golurk could do 100% damage through Protect, and Mega Excadrill could only deal 25. And that was a very fun place to be for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I can imagine. But yeah. All right. Well, we got one more. It's from Gigasaurus Games. I've got this one. Hello, Puckle crew. It was great to hear that the hosts are enjoying Pokemon Champions, because I definitely see lots of potential in the game, even if I haven't had a lot of time to play it myself over the last couple of weeks. The Pokemon selection on the whole is a nice mix, aside from including all of the elemental monkeys. And the training system is quite good to work with, other than finding the specific Pokemon that one wants to train. The GUI is pretty bad in the boxes, I'm not going to lie. Where was I? Oops. I keep switching screens. I'm also excited to see what rule sets they experiment with in the future, now that they have an easy way to change which Pokemon are and aren't legal to play with. That's true. That being said, I do want to bring up one big disagreement I have with the podcast. I don't think that Pokemon Champions does a good job of what it wants to be, as you all argue that it does. Fundamentally, Pokemon Champions wants to be two things simultaneously: the primary VGC platform for the serious players that competitions will take place on, and an introduction to bring in new players who are unfamiliar with competitive Pokemon. In some ways, it does this well. The training system is good for both new and old players. Removing IVs is probably better for everyone other than Stakataka. And several highly random elements like freeze have been mitigated. The problem I have is that right now, I don't think it does a good job of being the main VGC platform. Champions is fundamentally different from TCG Pocket because it's actually replacing the existing VGC platform. From this perspective, the loss of so many significant items that excessively reduce the strategies available in team building and playstyles is a meaningful downgrade as the primary platform. The solution, of course, is that they will be updating the game in the future to add in more items, such as the Rocky Helmet. My concern is that this will work against it in the long term. On the other end of the scale, while I think it's a mediocre primary VGC platform, I agree that the slimmed down team building is great for new players. Unfortunately, I think that future updates, especially with the addition of more items, will bring back the introductory cognitive load and end up making it harder for new players again in the future. Even now, I think that it has some bad choices for new players. Not only are there not many items, but some of the included ones are just baffling. Oranberry is an item that is bad and will just confuse some players and shouldn't have been included outside of the non-existent Little Cup meta. And Bright Powder as an item is just mean. I think it's cute. I like Bright Powder. Bright Powder, Sandvale, Garchomp. Let's go. But inclusions like this just make me annoyed because I otherwise want to applaud their decisions to not include the rather confusing pinch healing item berries yet for new players. It is possible that I'm being overly pessimistic and that Champions will do a better job of maintaining balance of both goals in the future than I expect, in which case I will be willing to forgive it quite a lot. I am curious what you all think Champions might do to promote both complex strategy and easy onboarding. Thanks as always for your efforts to put together a great show, and I hope everyone has a great day. Gigasaurus Games. My answer is that I think they can also not only change the Pokemon roster available, but also the item roster available each time. But even then, I think that what we have is still oversimplified, and somebody could understand Rocky Helmet on top of everything we have.
So the way I see it is right now, Pokemon Champions is a guy who stopped along the path or slowed down enough that the
People
friend
could get on.
running after him could reach him. And then the guy starts walking again. And maybe the friend will not fall as far behind this time.
Yeah.
So the friend is going to be almost on pace when the new items come out. Now, you can't keep stopping every 5 minutes or you will never get anywhere. But this is the time that the guy has stopped so that his friend can catch up. If the friend is catching up now, good for them. If the friend is trying to catch up like in a year, the guy has started walking again. But for now, this is what's happening.
I agree with that. I also think for onboarding, it's very easy to just do like, I think just the like EV and training changes is enough. Like, I think honestly that is a significant barrier to entry that no longer exists. And I think that is the biggest one that will not go away and it will not change. It'll be very easy, especially once like more replica teams get out there as well out in the wild. There's already a ton, but once more replica teams get out there, I think it'll be even easier just to kind of jump in and play, as long as you have the appropriate Pokemon. And then you can talk about how free-to-play players are at a disadvantage. And I say, I'm sorry, Pokemon wants you to play their games. I don't know what to say. That's my biggest criticism that I don't like hearing people talk about is what about the free-to-play players? And I'm just like, that's on them. Like, they should play Pokemon.
So the way I see it is, now that I have played a whole like 45 minutes of this game,
very long time.
So the way things are worded in the tutorials are like for people who have never seen a Pokemon in their life. And I think if you put a person like that in front of this game, they are free to play only, and they don't have Pokemon Home, what's going to happen is that they are going to need so much time to figure out the mechanics. Like, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. They're going to need enough time to figure out the mechanics that by that time they will have recruited a fair number of Pokemon.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I think the game's going to be fine long run. I think just the fact that you are taking your time, like that you can just change the EVs on a whim like you can. It does cost VP or whatever, but you can go play casual battles and also get VP. I don't think people realize that.
I mean, you have the daily missions, you have a bunch of stuff that means you're not going to get to higher tiers if you started playing Pokemon yesterday. So you might as well spend a bunch of time in Pokeball tier as you accrue the resources that you will eventually need to reach, Ultra Ball tier. When you have the knowledge that will bring you there, then you will also have the Pokemon that can bring you there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the game long term is going to be fine. Well, all right. Well, that has been our mailbag. Like I said, last segment, you can email us next week at puclpodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a YouTube comment. Leave us a Spotify comment. Leave us a comment wherever you see us. You leave a comment on a Twitter post you see us make, something like that. Because you can find us not only here, but you can hang out with us throughout the week over on our Discord server at pucldiscord.com. Additionally, you can also find us over on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. You can also find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast and YouTube at youtube.com/puclpodcast, where we stream every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Except there's going to be one coming up where I do have to miss because I'll be driving to Michigan. But it's fine. It's fine, guys. Don't worry. Don't cry. But we will we'll still try to make whatever we can happen. So we do appreciate everybody that comes by. And if you want to help support the show, the best way to do so is to go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/puclpodcast. If you don't want to give us money, if you could just drop a like, subscribe to us, do whatever you can. Let the algorithm know you like the show. That would help us out. But other than that, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
I've been Lynian.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Bye.